Hello and welcome back to Manifold Mind. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories. Across 3 star systems, one name commanded instant obedience: General Kalira Voss of the Zythran Vanguard. Strategic genius, frontline commander, undefeated in 17 campaigns, feared by enemies, respected by allies, and recently married. Her mate, Ethan Ward, was human, former tactical analyst, civilian-born, calm, observant, infuriatingly unreadable. To the Zythran High Command, the union was controversial. To Kalira, it was personal. She had chosen him. But Zythran culture demanded more than affection. It demanded strength, and strength had to be tested. Ethan knew something was wrong when Kalira invited him to the Vanguard combat arena at dawn. The massive training chamber shimmered with gravity modulators and shifting terrain projections. She stood at the center in full battle armor, sleek obsidian plating edged in crimson light. "You are armed?" she asked. Ethan glanced down at the standard-issue pulse staff in his hands. I assumed this wasn't couples therapy. Her golden eyes narrowed slightly, but there was amusement there. "You are my mate," she said, "but my people question your worth. And you?" "I do not question," she replied. "I verify. A test." He exhaled slowly. "All right, General." The arena sealed. Gravity shifted, and she attacked. Kalira moved like a comet, fast, precise, overwhelming. Her blade cut through the air with controlled fury. Ethan barely blocked the first strike. The second nearly disarmed him. The third forced him to retreat across a rising platform. "You hesitate," she observed mid-assault. "I prefer not to stab my wife before breakfast." She advanced again, harder, faster. The watching officers in the van observation deck murmured among themselves. They expected Ethan to fall quickly. After all, he was human. No enhanced musculature. No bio-augmented reflex grid. No battle lineage. Kalira pressed him toward the edge of a collapsing platform. "You cannot always calculate your way out," she said sharply. His eyes flickered. "Good thing I don't." He dropped his staff. The officers gasped. Kalira lunged, and he stepped inside her guard. Close, too close for her blade to swing effectively. He twisted, redirected her momentum, and used the arena's shifting gravity field to unbalance her footing. Suddenly, the general of the Vanguard hit the floor. Hard, her blade skidded away. Silence swallowed the chamber. Kalira lay on her back for half a second, stunned. Ethan stood over her, breathing steady. He didn't strike. He didn't gloat. He extended a hand. "You telegraph when you're annoyed," he said calmly. Her officers stared in disbelief. She took his hand and rose smoothly. "You baited my aggression. You charged in expecting me to defend." Her eyes gleamed. "You were analyzing the terrain. Since you invited me." The arena reset. She circled him slowly now, less force, more precision. This time she didn't overpower. She adapted. And so did he. Their movements shifted from combat to synchronization. Strike, block, counter, turn, back to back without planning it. The officers stopped whispering. They started watching, closely. After 20 relentless minutes, the arena lights dimmed automatically. Match concluded. Neither disarmed, neither defeated. Kalira removed her helmet slowly. Her expression was unreadable. "You withheld," she said. "Yes. Why?" "Because this wasn't about winning." Her gaze sharpened. "It was about showing them," he added quietly. The observation deck fell silent again. She turned toward her officers. "This," she declared, voice resonating across the chamber, "is why he stands beside me." No one challenged her. Not after what they witnessed. Later, in their private quarters overlooking the fleet docks, Kaelira stood before him without armor, just herself. "You were not threatened," she said softly. "No, you were not intimidated. Should I have been?" A faint smirk touched her lips. "I am a Zytheran general, and you're my wife." She stepped closer. "You did not attempt dominance. I don't need to dominate you." Her breath slowed slightly. "Why? Because we're strongest when we're aligned. For a species built on hierarchy and power, that concept was revolutionary." She cupped his face gently. "You surprised me. You tested me." Her voice lowered. "And I was not ready for the outcome." He smiled faintly. "Good outcome?" Her eyes softened in a way only he ever saw. "Yes." Months later, a rogue war faction attempted to exploit rumors of weakness within the vanguard. They miscalculated. When the ambush came, Kaelira led the counterstrike. Ethan stood in the command chamber, coordinating fleet maneuvers with surgical precision. Enemy formations collapsed under predictive strategy before they even realized they were flanked. Kaelira's flagship cut through the center line like a blade through silk. When victory was secured, she entered the command chamber still in armor. Her officers stepped aside instinctively. She walked straight to Ethan. "You saved thousands," she said quietly. "You won the field. Our strength is shared." She leaned her forehead to his, a rare Zytheran sign of intimacy. "Never doubt your place beside me again." "I don't," he replied. A year into peace, Kaelira stood before the panoramic viewport of their warship home. Her hand rested over her abdomen. "There is life forming," she said without turning. Ethan stilled. "You're sure?" "Yes." He approached slowly. Zytheran reproduction was rare, intentional, sacred. "You're okay?" he asked softly. "I have faced invasions without hesitation," she said. "And this?" She turned toward him. "I have never faced this." He placed his hand gently over hers. "We'll handle it the same way." "How?" "Together." Her composure cracked just slightly. "You will be an exceptional father." Kid's got a terrifying role model. A faint laugh escaped her. The flagship's medical bay glowed softly as Kaelira endured labor with clenched determination. She refused sedation. "I command fleets," she growled through a contraction. "I will not be subdued by biology." Ethan squeezed her hand. "You're allowed to admit this is harder." She glared at him, then exhaled sharply. When their son was born, the room seemed to steady. He had Kaelira's golden eyes, Ethan's darker hair. Tiny fists clenched with surprising strength. Kaelira held him carefully. Her armor felt heavier than ever before, and more meaningless. "He will know both strategy and compassion," she murmured. Ethan kissed her temple. "And stubbornness." "Yes," she agreed softly. 1 year later, the Vanguard fleet remained undefeated. But its culture had shifted. Strength was no longer measured by domination alone. Coordination, adaptability, partnership, those principles became doctrine. In their quarters, their son Riven took unsteady steps across the polished floor. Kaelira knelt in full command attire, arms open. "Advance," she instructed gently. Ethan laughed from the side. "He's not a battalion." Raven stumbled into her arms. She lifted him effortlessly, golden eyes softer than any officer had ever seen. Later that evening, as Riven slept, Kaelira stood beside Ethan watching the fleet drift against the stars. "I tested you," she said quietly. "You did. I expected to confirm superiority. And—" She turned toward him. "I discovered equilibrium." He wrapped an arm around her waist. "Better outcome, yes," she agreed. "A fear general. A human mate who refused intimidation, a child born of strength and balance, and a future where power no longer meant standing alone, but standing together."